In the following cases, people have somehow escaped the Grim Reaper. Were they miracles? Experts have a hard time explaining them completely, and it may be difficult to believe, but there is always a logical reason. So let's jump in. A guy in a Spanish prison collapsed from a drug overdose. Drugs aren't allowed in prison, but I'm sure there's a logical explanation. Anyway, the guards rush over, check his pulse, and declare him dead. They call up the prison medic. He verifies the fact. They call up the ambulance to cart him off to the morgue. A couple of hours have gone by before the forensic doctor gets around to doing an autopsy. The doctor is preparing his instruments when he hears a noise behind him. He looks around and the body bag is moving. After changing his underwear, he unzips the bag and lets the guy out. The prisoner asks, "Where am I?" and isn't very happy with the answer. What happened then? The doctor suggests that while the guy hadn't actually died, his heartbeat, apart from being extremely weak, could have slowed down to around 4 beats a minute, which would make it really difficult to detect. In the 2 hours after his supposed death, his body would have had a chance to metabolize the drugs and recover. Not only an amazing way to escape death, but prison too, although not for long. He had to go back. The second case is about another jailbird. There's no pattern forming here or conspiracy, just a coincidence. He finishes his prison term and is released, but rather than celebrate his freedom, decides to commit suicide. He plans to go up into the mountains and shoot himself there. First off, he needs to get prepared, so he buys 100 grams of cocaine and injects it because sniffing it supposedly doesn't give him a fast enough hit, and within 3 days he's come to the end of the line, or the needle is no longer in the red, so to speak. So it's time for him to go up to the mountains. He gets on his motorbike, hits the road, gets annoyed at some people passing in a car who are laughing, not at him, but cocaine can make you paranoid, and he fires off a couple of shots at their car. In all the excitement, he falls off his motorbike and breaks his legs so badly the bone is sticking out. Now that he's unable to continue his journey, he decides to put an end to it all right there in the middle of the road. He points his gun up under his sternum to make sure it will hit his heart and fires. 5 days later, he wakes up in hospital. Photos show the entry point of the bullet and where it exited out his back. He should have died, no question. The forensic doctor can only surmise that the effects of massive amounts of cocaine bloated and distorted the internal organs so much that they changed position sufficiently to avoid being hit. The reason he wanted to commit suicide was that everything in his life had gone wrong and he couldn't even get that right. To top it all off, he was put back in prison for shooting at the people passing by in the car. I've written a movie script about a woman who claims to have been abducted by aliens. People start to believe her when she gives surprisingly scientific explanations. But there is a big difference between believing something and knowing the facts. Not every light in the sky is a UFO. It's more likely to be one of Elon Musk's thousands of Starlink satellites. Until we have solid evidence of UFOs, we should be less worried about little green men and more worried about the little orange man. My ebook, Wufo 2, is available on Amazon, where you can find other books I have written on my author's page, Simon Hugh Wheeler. It's about the price of a couple of beers. Your support is appreciated. I'm the Social Evolutionary. Peace on or peace off.